2, 1. And welcome back on in, folks, to our final game here of the Challenger Series coverage in the evening. Tiaki has come prepared for it. We're going to Brazil. We're going to be covering Razah Company versus Imperial. Tiaki, you look dressed for the occasion, my good sir. Looking absolutely dapper over there in those sunglasses.
It is too early in the morning not to say that we will be prepped and ready for the games on this evening. That's for sure.
He's looking like a siege operator over here. And hopefully we're going to get some really good action with the siege operators inside of the server. As for this game, though, 2-2 elimination qualification game. It's the same stakes it's been all day, but that doesn't mean they're any less important than they have been, does it now? Razah Company versus Imperial going head-to-head with one another. Winner goes onwards to the finals. Loser will be knocked out of the bracket. It's a pretty straight shoot for what they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Razah Company, right? They've made their way through. They've had a little bit of struggles for the most part. 2 1s, 2 0s for most of their games, with their first match unfortunately coming up against Elevate AC or A Academy. And of course, Razah unfortunately losing that in a very close match. But for the most part, it has been pretty consistent with the way that they've been playing. They've been getting up 7-3s or getting, unfortunately, pulled back just a little bit closer matches coming on to the fold. As we saw in their game up against New Mode, it was 7-4, 7-0, and a 7-8. So a bare loss coming down to it. So they are definitely the team to keep an eye on. On the opposite end, Imperial are 6, 7-1, 7-2, and a 4-7 in their matches. It's been kind of here and there. Had
Up and
some
down.
good games, had some bad games.
But they need to have a good game today, don't they, Tiaki? It's going to be a really, really important one. Now, I'm a European, you're from APAC. We're not from Brazil. We're not too familiar with these rosters on my name alone. But you look at some of the players, and we have seen them on the big stage before. Players like Nesk, players like Kamikaze, names that anyone who follows this scene slightly will be familiar with. Some really great roster with some really great potential on the side of Razah Company, and they're looking to do some damage here, and Nesk looking to unretire himself.
Well, Neski's been in a bit of a tough situation, hasn't he? Making his way into the tier 2 scene. But of course, he's got a bunch of teammates that surround him that can absolutely capitalize on every single potential situation. Take into consideration Django and Kamikaze. They've been absolutely madmen in their games. I haven't had a full chance to watch all of them, but the ones that I've done, the ones that I have, they've definitely been the deciding factors. Again, though, going up against the team, I mean, they came 8th overall. They're a known company. Yeah. Coming up against Imperial, you've got a variety of members there as well. Yeah. On their side, of course, Mitrix, if I say that name wrong, I'm going to say it again. Florio, Yex, Machina. There we go. Sexy Cake as well, or X-Sexy Cake, coming in on Imperial's side. So there is a lineup to counteract the opposition lineup. And of course, Imperial, we expect them to do big numbers, big ups, and big plays.
It's some really big names inside of this game here. It's going to be a really interesting one. And for me, it's honestly probably one of the more exciting ones that we've had the luxury and the pleasure of being able to watch today. It's going to be a really fun game. It's going to be a really, really good one, I'm hoping. And when we get there, when we settle into it, it's the same rules, right, Tiaki? Best of 3. Winner is going to qualify onwards towards that final stage going through to next weekend. Whereas the loser is going to be sitting things on out. And I know they're not going to want to be there, right? Because the finals, they're only a week away. They're only a couple of games away. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a toughie for these guys.
Yeah, look, it's the top 8 teams. You go into a double elimination bracket. The top 2 manage to qualify to the regional leagues. And that is broadcasted, of course, on the main channel over there. But to get to that top 8 Swiss stage bracket, double elimination bracket, you've got to get first through the Swiss stage. And already we've seen a decent chunk of teams that have been able to make it through over the last couple of days in all of the regions, including in APAC and in EU. Now we require one more, and it's a simple one. SAL, you're up next to bat. And then after that, NAL, you're up next.
Yeah, that's it. We've got more regions to come. When you think about it, Tiaki, we're actually only going to be, what, like halfway through the day by the time this game actually has started. We've still got 2 more regions to cement our final few teams in towards the lobby, in towards who's going to be going on through. And that means, equally, on a sadder note, a lot of hearts that we still have good to break before the end of the day runs out, because we will see teams knocked out only just recently. You know, we had that EML bracket, that real deciding game here once towards the end. It's going to be a really, really interesting one. You know, you can see this how the EML bracket's just run out. That one's gone and finished, but, you know, we don't care about EU anymore. I'm leaving that region. I'm just hopping this morning. You know what, I'm just a fan of whoever's directly in front of me.
Well, what about my region?
What about your region's cool too? Your region's cool.
There we go.
It's on better terms than I'm on better terms with your region than I am with my region at the moment. There's a lot of upset results from today, so I think it's safe to say I'm quite happy to be an APAC fan, but I'm a Brazil fan now at the moment. I've even got, you know, like, hold on, we're just gonna get the like.
Oh,
welcome.
Viva Brazil!
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm ready for the Brazil. I've been waiting for a whole year to come back towards this region. It's only not my second time casting it, so I'm really excited to get stuck into it. And as well, with a map veto coming on the way as well, Tiaki, we've got some new ones we've yet to see today coming into the table.
Well, I talked about it last match over in EU. Of course, Fortress being removed off the board. That's the immediate pick that I'd assume teams would like to get taken off straight off the bat. Chalet, Consulate, and Clubhouse being removed as well makes a lot of sense when you look at the regards of what the teams are expecting. But Leia, Border, and Nighthaven. Leia, as we saw previously, defender-sided as it appeared to be. But Border, oh man, one of my favorite maps by far, if not my favorite in the current competitive lineup. It is an attacker-sided map. It is aggression, 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 and it is box. A complete box-sided map. Kind of like Cafe, more so than anything else. And
yeah,
I mean, look,
it's going to be fun.
I'm happy we're going to Leia, and I'm happy we're going to Border.
It's going to be a really fun couple of maps there. I think it's a nice one to kind of end our day, because we're going to have that Border. That one, like you say, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be calamity. Lair and Labs, they're kind of the opposite sides of the spectrum in my books, Lair especially. It's a bit more slow, it's a bit more pacey. Nice warm up in towards this series. We're starting down here, and then all of a sudden we get Border, bam, aggression's all the way at the top of the screen. Everything is screaming, everything is on fire. Chaos is going to be abrupt and running amok inside of that one. So I really cannot wait to see, honestly, what these teams can bring to us on the table for it. We've seen Lair. Literally, it was the last map we casted right before this series has gone through. So it's a nice way to return, and looking at the way the veto is going to unfold as well, it's continuing that debate of where does the side preferences lie on Lair. Razah Company picked the map, Imperial R6 will therefore pick the starting side, and they chose to go defense.
Yeah, once again, by the way, may I just also add huge shout outs to the observers that we've had for throughout the day, throughout our streams as well. The unnamed gamer coming in as our observer for SAL and also the EU. Gotta love him and his work. Lucky to have observers over.
So lucky. We would be so cooked without observers. And the thing is, Unnamed isn't even done with us. He was expecting to have a 3-hour break, and I messaged him at 6 o'clock this morning going like, hey, do you fancy doing some Brazil this afternoon? I know you've got like a little bit of a gap in between EU and NA, because NA's not for like another 5 hours at this point, so we've got time in the world. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. He's on it, he's passionate, he's on it, giving us the feed. It's that kind of behind-the-scenes work that while we all stare at an observer and we will watch a feed, it's one of those jobs that really doesn't get enough credit for us, right, Tiaki? Because it does distract from the casting if you're having to constantly press buttons on a keyboard or a controller. And you would know that best, because you do some observing of yourself sometimes. There he is. He's got the controller.
What observers do we have in OS? You have me.
Yeah, he is the observer. This man is Mr. Worldwide in terms of he's doing production, he's doing casting, he's doing the analysis desk, he's running the observing as well. It's a tough one, admittedly, when that happened. I've been there, done that myself. It's so hard to do those streams. So credit for you for troopering it through, but you know, you can now sit back and relax. We've got a professional to give us a feed.
Yeah, and you got to give it to him as well. Like his observing, on point. 10 out of
So
10.
good.
There are other observers that we have obviously seen, and there were some doing APAC. Huge ups to them, including shout out to the rest of the casters, by the way. Tom
Everyone.
J. Sherlock coming in with a bit of a raid also earlier, and I think you mentioned Kangaroo?
Kangaroo Kenny as well, floating around earlier in the EML region. We had Uragan, we had E6 going live. So there's a real, over in EU, we're quite spoiled. We have a very nice, dedicated community. Pretty much every game from the Swiss stage, bar for about 4 or 5 of them, I think, has had a community caster in one, not always English, but in one language watching it. That's only possible because of our observers, only possible because of our casters, the admin team letting us view in, because ultimately, they could do that if they wanted to. They could just say, you know what, no, you're not watching any of this. You'll just see which teams qualify to the finals on a socials graphic. So the fact that we're even allowed in, we're just a window into their world, because, you know, it does, to a degree, open up the competition to competitive integrity type things. So you just got to watch it. But equally, it's so great that we get to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, huge ups, especially to the region of APAC. We have a variety of different casters over there as well, and Travi as well for coming in, jumping in for a few bits of the cast. Puffo Bob jumping in as his co-caster as well. Got to add him onto it. Silver Wolf from Perth, who has jumped in for a few of the OCE games. And finally, I'll add one more on to the big checklist. Rowling over as the CN community caster for APAC. Huge work put in by him. He's put out more than us.
Hours,
more
literally.
Than us for sure.
Like, we were saying this kind of in the break. If I ever just wake up one morning and on a last-minute whim fancy casting some Asia, they're always there. He's always there with a clean feed, ready to go. Like, 100% of the time, without fail, there's that coverage in Asia. There's so many dedicated people in here around the world. You know, Unnamed's part of Siege Double Shot, some NA group of the casters, right? They're really impressive as well. They're always there. It's the community spirit that keeps this kind of grassroots level of the game going. And then now we get the privilege of getting to send these players onto the next thing, right, Tiaki? They're now going to these T2 finals, these kind of Challenger Series qualifiers, where they're only a handful of games away from competing with the guys that we sit back and like watch. We sit back on our chair going, that looks like fun. That'll be us someday. But we get the privilege to be able to cast these players as they make their journey towards it. And it's just special to be able to be a small part of it. It's just really, really special.
And there's no other scene, and I'll say it straight as I need to. There is no other scene around the world, around anywhere, that has the community or the vibes around R6 that any other esports has. Just none. The only one that gets even close is CS, and even their vibes, man, depends on the country that you're in. Regardless, though, for us here, it is exceptionally amazing, and we thank every single member that is involved. Players, casters, observers, production, and finally administration as well. All of the back end guys. Huge ups to all of them. And saying that, we have some SAL to jump onto, some amazing games. And I apologize if the casting level of myself is not the highest. I have to keep my voice a little bit lower, considering, well, I'm from Australia.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit about 3 a.m.
It's just about 3 o'clock in the morning for you. That's obviously not going to be ideal, being at 3 o'clock in the morning and casting off for you. But you know what? I'm glad you're just coming along for the ride here, Tiaki. It makes the energy in the stream a little bit better. Just that additional person to kind of bounce around, have some fun with. And you know what? It's been a pleasure to have you. EML earlier on today was a hell of a lot of fun. That game against Diavoli, that Diavoli Blatant Gap game, it was really good because it was the only free mapper we actually had in our region this afternoon. And it was really special and so fun to watch that one.
Yeah, we've been pretty good today for securing top 3 games. Games that end up going out all the way. And then that's, look, at the beginning of the game, you're like, okay, maybe this team and this team will be kind of on the same level. Maybe they will make it to a 3-gamer, or maybe it's just going to be a slaughter fest. Take into consideration the first game that I did over in OS, that was just immediately done, but that was a rollover. Every other
Yeah.
game that we've had so far has almost gone to that 3-stepper. I think the only other game that didn't was your APAC North game.
Yeah, that one was a 2-0. Granted, the first map was like a really close, tense overtime game. That one was like, oh, we need this one to go to distance. Then the second map was a little bit of a one-sided affair, and it was a shame. But equally, I'm going to be okay with it because it was... This is the case of we then got on to do EML on time. Like, we literally, finished that game within about 10 minutes. We're ready live for EML. So, as much as it was unfortunate that it was kind of a bit of a back and forth, or not maybe the length we wanted, it was nice that we just actually got it done in time for EML. So, we've not actually missed any Siege today. We've actually been... I'm going to touch wood and say this now. We've been blessed for timings today. Things have mostly been all right.
Mostly been all right. Of course, we've had some issues over the last couple of weeks, and that's no one's fault. It happens with everything that happens. Every stage, there is some sort of issue. Of course, we also have to take into consideration there is currently a bit of a glitch on Border. I forgot to mention this.
Oh, no.
We will be keeping an eye on it.
Okay.
It is a mute glitch. Where placing the mute underneath specific locations or specific jump-in locations, such as CCTV window, cannot allow the players outside to jump in.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's a new bug I found out about today.
That's a development. I swear, how do people find these things? There's some of these bugs we encounter in this game. They're just so random. I don't know how people actually discover them, honestly. It baffles me.
I mean, look, when you have so many players around the world playing the game, casual or not, they will test every single little bit. Take not Overwatch, Valorant, for example, right? You've got those players that play specific characters that know lineups for every single location. There's a guy named, I think it was Brim Sensei is his name. He's an Australian.
Yeah.
And he knows lineups from your spawn and the enemy's spawn on the opposite side of the map. So he can hit the same lineups onto bomb plants from the enemy's spawn.
That's mad.
Why?
Why not? It's useful information to use, I suppose. Why not go for something like that? Just a little bit crazy. I believe we have, I think it's Pendant within Rainbow Six, one of our creators, and he's very similar on the same kind of wavelength there. You're working out all of these sort of funky grenade angles, these funky throws you can achieve, especially with the way our grenades work, where it's bounce, bounce, fuse starts. Now, you can get some really wacky lineups with those where they drop and it's like an instant kill trap. So there's some really interesting ways that you can play this game. And of course, we're just spoiled with everything that we've got to do for us. Game warning has been given away, folks. We've got about 3 minutes till the lobby hits Tiaki. So we're getting ready for any final thoughts before we head into our last game here tonight.
Well, let's hope and see that both of these two teams can really come up and provide us with some good games this evening. This is my first time casting over in SAL for Brazil, and we're hoping to see that they really start putting up some early numbers. Early rounds seem to be the difference for a lot of the teams at the moment. However, it's the continuation and the consistency of keeping those games on a consistent basis and the coordination of both of the teams to keep going up and up as the rounds continue.
That consistency, probably for me, is the biggest separation between our T1 and our T2 sides. A lot of our T2 sides, especially in Europe, their biggest downfall, for me, in my opinion, is our consistency level. Sometimes they play really, really well. They look like they're the next big thing, ready to take on the whole world. And then the next day, they go down. Sorry, One Nut. Sorry, Tiaki, I'm a shill for money. Well, that's just said Sam. I'm quite easily bribed. You can have it a second time as well. He's out. He's done. He's gone. See you later, Tiaki. It's just a solo cast now. Back on towards the camera. Hi, chat. Welcome back to the Travi Show. I have... He's like... Well, that's actually got to done it. Sorry, Tiaki. Gotta do what you gotta do.
You see this guy, chap? This guy's concerning. Really.
He's a menace to society. But you know what I'm not?
The things you make him do.
I mean, I'm a simple man. There's a lot of things I would do for like a little bit of Twitch money, to be honest with you. But one thing I am going to do is cast some seeds. We're going back to Lair Tiaki, back to where we were, what feels like an hour ago now, because it was about an hour ago now. We're going on to our second newest addition to the map pool here. Still no fortress to be seen, but this one will have to do. Razah Company, Imperial R6. It's going to be a banging game here in Brazil. Winner goes on to the finals. Loser will be knocked out of the running for T2. This game is going to be an absolute heater.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at Leia straight off the bat, and the instant I see Leia, I am immediately identifying one simple thing: aggression and coordination. Pushing in towards every single extension in play, in availability, is the name of the game. You want to lock down as much as you can, preferably, and it's a tough map to keep yourself steady, ready, and set to go.
It's going to be a tough one to keep the pace high, to keep the threshold, kind of your tempo in these rounds. It's going to be really important for these teams. Now, how the operator bans are going to be lining towards this one. It's going to be quite interesting to see how things unfold here. Do we go with the shields? Do we go with the hard breach, the more kind of defaulted bans? We're instead going to be going with the Grim and Bandit.
Grim Bandit taken off the board makes a lot of sense to kick off, and I'm going to be saying makes a lot of sense quite a lot at this stage. So the Bandit being taken off the board, I mean, that's your immediate wall denial, especially when you consider R6 room. Especially when you consider R6 room being there, just getting that taken off the board, yeah, makes life a little bit easier. The clash we saw in consistent play over on EU, and it makes a lot of sense when you consider how annoying some players can be with that clash operator on the opposite end. The Montaigne, the Maestro, being banned off the board once again. I can't. The Montaigne being banned off the board. The pressure that it provides is always a considerate problem. And I wonder whether or not that will allow for both the Blackbeard and Blitz to really make its impactful plays.
I've drilled it into your head now. Maestro equals Montaigne, Montaigne equals Maestro. I've absolutely screwed with you for tonight. Up towards the top floor, we're going to go now. Imperial starting off their defense with the normal things as you would kind of expect to see from them. Using that time denial operators here, tripling down on it. Chanka, Smoke, Goyo, they're all going to be about slowing down this attack with the Razah Company here. The lack of that Montaigne means they're not going to be able to gain ground too quickly. They're going to be reliant on things like the Blackbeard, things like the Ying, and that's exactly where those kind of rush plays, you can commit all that utility, and if they're caught out by the fire, caught out by the toxic babes, you're kind of throwing it, expending it for absolutely no cost here. So the attack going to have to keep an eye on that resource management for themselves and ensure that they don't burn everything out too quickly, because otherwise they're going to be finding themselves locked out of the site.
Let's consider the initial location of Sexy Cake and his Goyo charges. He keeps replaying. Put it down. One of these days, please. There we go. It is going to be placed. And I remember a few years back, the old Goyo charges, or the way that they used to work, is they used to have a shield attached to them.
They did.
It was actually pretty difficult to get consistent hits if you ended up getting pushed off of your position. But once again, the back and forths go through. The Azami is in play, can regain those Kiba barriers if needed, but those long peaks just being spotted. And again, the DMRs becoming up and available. The lineups on both sides just scream, we're going to get rid of as much utility as possible, and then immediately make a push in towards the site with stall preparations.
Here comes the Candela, primed up here from Razah outside the operational window. Going to bounce on through on towards that mezzanine. So when the rest of the team clears through operations, you've got that pressure behind you. You've got that force where the Azami can't contest that position. You can see Kamikaze, but instead, I think the attacker deciding to pivot away from it here now. Tiaki lining up outside of the front door on here. Drones are going to come on in. They're going to spot Yex on side of the main staircase here. Playing it close with the Warn and Shotgun. Perfect operator to counter the Ying, but instead it's that Azami of Machina. First one to drop.
That is an incredible shot coming by Herbs, as he's immediately able to find that long-range pistol shot. Look at the keeper barrier.
On the floor.
It's actually not been active. I think he was trying to put it down, but he somehow managed to drop it, or he had it activated in his hand when he dropped down. But that gives the opening that they need to push into operation. a potential push straight towards the R6 site and long angles present to be held.
Nesk leading the charge for this attack inside now here, outside of Mezzanine. Momentarily stalled by the Vulcan canister. Gonna swap positions instead with Kamikaze on towards this Blackbeard. The volleyball shield will be taken out there by the frag grenade, giving that space, removing that piled position. So the side of Raziko can start to look towards getting inside of this bomb site. Wall should be able to be opened up within due time course here. Now you just have to worry for Imperial. How much value can they get out of the utility that they've got remaining in their pockets?
I'm loving the slow play coming in from Imperial at this current stage in time. They are just trying to wait out as much of this potential movement, but the rotation almost gets caught out. 60K takes a decent chunk of damage. Shotgun in play, finds one, and it leaves it down to a 3-on-3 scenario. The Warden, the big player, still up and available, is the one to counter that Ying shotgun that we've been seeing so much play recently. And look how close these players are positioned to each other. Straight back and forth. 60K's able to confirm one, but it's trades straight onto Imperial, who managed to pick it up.
A bit of a stall out there on towards the push from the side of Razah Company. Unsure of entirely where they wanted to commit themselves in towards the bomb site. Getting flushed out. And Imperial, they can honestly play that round with a little bit of hands off there. They weren't applying a massive amount of pressure. Not a crazy amount to what I'm used to seeing from teams. Instead, it's just that slow, steady release of the utility. And Razah Company weren't quite sure what's going to be safe, where the resistance will be met. And indecisiveness is ultimately what resulted in their downfall there inside of this one. Really nice tie-up there towards the end of the round coming in from Imperial, as you'll see. Really quick kills there, this 3v3 situation. It looked a little bit worrisome for them of how spread out they were, but the backline on the objective itself, phenomenal play to hold it through. Now we go down to the basement.
Basement hold it is, and basement extension will come into play. Of course, these players want to set themselves further up instead of just holding direct down. Now, we've seen these a few times. We've seen this preparation once again, but the castle hasn't really been apparent when these maps have been played, and it's good to see him making his appearance and joining us for this potential game. Thank you for the up above play. The good old observer. Overhead play, that's what I meant to say. Camera. Looks like we're looking at a 2D game. I wonder if Siege would ever add that as like a little game mode, like play from the top down.
I mean, it's a limited time mode. You know what? It could actually be quite a lot of fun just to see how differently things unfold. I know PUBG released a game called Blind Spot, which is very similar to Siege, I think, in some of its mechanics. And it is that top-down kind of perspective. Not played it, wouldn't know, but I believe it was Gibson that actually sort of we played a test for it a while ago and recommended it. I don't know if it's out yet. I think it is. I swear I've seen it. Anyway, game at hand in front of us. Siege, the real Siege, right in front of us. Through Razah Company going to start off this clear. Notice that Bunks is reinforced off, so there's likely to be some defensive presence on this first floor and all the way up to the second as well, included Sexy Cake. And in that hunch, the attack would be correct.
Well, there's a little bit of a problem. The outside camera is still up and available, and you can see the castle jumping onto it. The north dock is available for all members down and about. A little bit of movement being made on the opposite side for Razah Company, but they need to find an entry point at some point in time as the timer slowly starts to tick down. They have a little bit of control onto that first floor. Drones have cleared up onto the second, and the first kill will come through. Sexy Cake getting a little bit too aggressive on his potential position.
Roaming isolated on an island there will be punished for the aggression. The remaining defenders of Imperial decide enough is enough on the top floor shenanigans, and for the most part rotate down towards the basement, minus for Florio, who despite the vertical pressure that's mounting on the site below him, continues to get aggressive, continues to try and search for something here. But the quick information this logic bomb from the Dokkaebi can provide means Razah has a very easy way of finding out this player's on the lurk, especially with how stacked up Razah Co are right now. They're just eyeing up a big move here. You can feel it in the air.
Well, Flaro, excuse me. Flaro, oh, I keep saying ER, whatever.
Florio
is upstairs. Florio, thank you. That's the word that I was looking for. Is upstairs and ready on that first floor blue stairwell. May decide to move back downstairs to cover his teammates. Drop point up and available to go straight through, and it is going to be used. Kamikaze makes his way in, but not expecting the player on the opposite side. A bit of damage being dealt. That mirror not flashbanged out, so a second drop up and available. 2 players are going to be dropped down. It leaves 1 up and ready. I don't know if they've been able to make sure the securance from the side of Razah has been made. It has not. It's Razah himself left as the last member up and available. Looks to find his way down the blue stairs, but that coughing should provide him with the information that they know where he's coming from.
They know there's toxic babes keep getting popped there. Razah just baiting out some kills he can try to find himself at this point in time. And even when you do, you're faced up with a mirror window here. Florio playing right up behind it. Sure, you might not have to smoke babes, but Dokkaebi in the corner. Just going to save her KD out here. Pad it through the stats. Imperial will be handed there second. And I think, like you said, Tiaki, when they went for the hop in there, the attack just weren't fully ready for all of the resistance on the other side. They hadn't droned out all the intricacies. The connectors around the side of the bomb site itself, inside of stock, inside of filter, all of these additional players that you need to keep in mind when hot dropping that hatch. They weren't aware of them, weren't sure where to look, and kind of got pinched from all angles there. Razah Company just a bit short on the intel inside of that round here, but heading towards the tertiary, this is going to be their best opportunity to secure around on the attack.
Well, what do we say about tertiary? It's one simple thing, Travi.
Attack the vertical.
Attack the vertical.
Attack the vertical,
exactly
please.
Clear the top floor. Make sure that players are not in their respective positions upstairs, and make sure that you get them removed nice and quickly so you can gain control of that vertical play. Don't go horizontal. We haven't seen it work. It's been played 3 times. But you know, it is what it is, and that's
it is what it is.
Not much else you can really say about it at this kind of station time. And Imperial, do me a favor and continue to hold that middle floor. And if you do, if Razah Company decides to make a direct attack, you know, you got that win.
Yeah, you got it. It's simple.
Razah,
I mean,
please.
Please, my region suck at it. I don't want Brazil to as well. I'm allowed to call my own region rubbish. That's fine. It's my region. I can't be in here calling other regions rubbish. We need to see some vertical presence here on through. I think that's where exactly operators like Kamikaze and this Ash here coming in from Django are going to come in towards the fold. It's going to be that additional kind of factor that this roster can bring in towards this side here. Using the Ash for the vertical, you've got the breaching charges, then you've got the Blackbeard to dislodge these players on the top floor. It's a really nice synergy that if Razah Co are able to get this one going, could turn the tide of this map.
Well, the immediate clearance is up onto that first floor, so I think someone's going to be a little bit happy for now. But look, clearance still needs to be made up onto the floor surrounding and up onto that vertical section. That is an interesting Kaid. Once again, confirmation being made underneath with the opening of the hat. Well, a little bit of the opening of the floor. So they know that that floor is electrocuted. It's all going to be cut off. And now they can start to make a bit of a slow push coming through. Clearance to be found. Clearance to be made. And Florio will be the first point of contact.
Ready on the front lines. Now is going to be this smoke here, playing these tight turns in the doorway and these corridors with this smoke combo. It's the perfect operator for it. You've got that shotgun, then you've got the SMG-11 to take those longer range gunfights, toxic babes to stall out any overwhelming numbers when you need to peel on back. It's exactly the kind of need and exactly the kind of kit you want to bring towards these extended holds. Now though, Razah Co making their presence known here throughout mezzanine side, open up on towards office side, allowing them in towards that room, just spreading out their wings on towards this attack a little bit, as it seems like a massive push is about to come on through.
Slow plays coming in at this stage. They've been able to clear out a bit of mezzanine and master office, but they need to find a way to the other players that are all set on to this second floor. There's actually 4 of them in that position. SAL will go out, so they've cleared a little bit more. Team kill to come onto the board.
What is he doing? Shot his own teammate in the back of the head. Unfortunate there for the Solace taken down, but not as unfortunate for the 2 quick kills found by Imperial, giving him the advantage inside of this round. Razah Kamikaze dropped on the floor. Django Doe is able to find a stabilizer inside of this one. 3 versus 3 position now. 45 seconds on the clock. Vertical control established for the attack inside. Finally, Sexy Cake down from below, holding the tight angle on this DMR, will be able to shut down Herbies, and it puts the advantage back in the way of the defense.
Oh, look, shotguns in hand. It's on the move, back and forth. The clearance needs to be made on the rest of the top floor. They've been able to do so. So they've got control upstairs, but Nitro Cell goes through. Oh, almost finds the damage just a little bit onto the ace, and this drop down coming straight in. They will know that drop has happened, but it's an immediate pickup from Sexy Cake. Drop comes in from Jung, and it's only one member remaining for the side of Razah. Imperial looking strong.
Really, really good first rotation there for the side of this defense. The attack of Razah Company, that was closest they have been in a while, but even then, it still just felt that little bit off. Difficult attack for them, most certainly. Difficult position they found themselves in. Now it needs to be that conversion through for Razah Company. They've seen all three of these objectives played for themselves, Tiaki. How can they adapt? How can they build? How can they learn from where mistakes have passed so that now going back into the re-rotation, they're able to put some numbers on the board?
The Deimos banned off the board. The Warden as a direct ban counter. That makes a lot of sense, though. Warden has been a consistent operator that we've seen played on a variety of different stages, and considering the fact that we've also seen quite a few times the Glaz coming into effect, it's glad. I'm glad to see it removed.
I love the Skinergy as well.
I'm like bringing the words and then bringing the words back 2 seconds later. It's pretty awesome.
It's really good stuff. It's good English. Yeah. Of course, only ever the best English quality here on the stream. Back up towards the top floor now, the powerhouse of the defense on side of this map. Hell, Imperial's icon, they're built for this defense, Tiaki. Look at their little team logo, right? You can't tell me it doesn't look almost identical to the one we've got in the game for the defense. Maybe they're just built for this. It looks the same.
What am I known for? Sacrificing the rook.
Yeah, sacrificing. It's all.
If you've ever seen that, you'll know where I'm referring to, but that's okay. Imperial, they've been able to get 3 rounds up. Razah Company really not having any sort of impact on this map so far. Just clarify with me here for a second, Travi. Was this Imperial's map pick or Razah's?
This is Razah's map pick. You see the top right of the screen. We've got DeVito roughly on there. Imperial picked on towards our second map of the day, Border. And our first lair. This is actually the choice of Razahco. Which isn't a good thing.
This is not good. Not good at all. Immediately, Imperial making the grounds. 3-0. That's what we want to be seeing from them if they're wanting to get their way through to phase 3 of this CM or this CS Challenger Series. Of course, for now, it looks like we're getting a little bit of a pushback coming through. No one really being made to move off this second floor. And with full access back to the sites once again, I don't really understand where this play is going to move from. You've got a lot of utility up and available, especially considering the smokes and the Ying charges. But that Ying bringing the shotgun once again, may be able to get a little bit of info. Nade's going far, but the nade comes back. Here, hold this, buddy.
One-dimensional, very right now, would be the way I describe this push from Razah Company. All kind of going from this operational side. You've got 4 of them in there, pushing in through mezzanine. Makina tucked away in a tight corner by the breach. That's now emerging itself. You need to apply some pressure on towards these other players, because otherwise you cannot commit in towards the objective. Bathroom side, you've got Mitrix, you've got Yex, just sitting there patiently, waiting their time, biding it through. The Goyodo has been spotted inside of the corner here. Flashbangs that have come on through. Smoke bolts, fire bolts, you name it. They're trying to force this Goyo out of the position here. Swing on round from the glass. It's a stroke of genius in the utility. If they can just find the source, there you go. We'll be able to get the pick, shut down Makina, get away scot-free. Razah with their first.
Yeah, and a good kill to start it off, but again, there's so many more points of entry that you need to make, so many more clearances on these angles, and right now, it is being covered on all sides. Lineup being sent straight through, but it's immediately identified. Wide swing up and available. Will hear the shotgun of the Ying as the defusal will come into place. The smokes do not find the angle, but the pre-fires do. Sexy Cake picks up 1, Florio picks up the second. All the pressure placed on the bomb site is removed. as there's only one member remaining against 3 shotguns available. And it's just everywhere. You can see the shots coming from up below and everywhere else. Defusals completely likely. And I mean, at this stage, Travi, look, it's a doable situation, but they need to start making a direct push onto him, and that is it.
That will be the round, done and dusted. Imperial 4 in a row, chaining them all together inside of this one. Razah, a really good idea on the attack there, but it's just the individual play right now coming in from the players there. You've got to give credit to your ones like Sexy Cake, to your ones like Meatrix here, inside of this replay, just able to go so fast and so aggressive, keeping their composure, and sure, credit here to Herbie's almost bringing it back here for their own team. You can see it just a second, but ultimately not going to be enough to turn around for the Razah Company, as they now need to really start to pick some up, Tiaki, because this is their own map pick. They wanted to come here. You cannot go flawlessly down on your own attacking half.
Yeah, tough situation to be in for sure, especially when you consider you were the ones to pick this map. Yes, you had a few bans off prior to it, but picking your map choice and losing it in a 6-0 fashion to begin your half it says a few things to me immediately off the bat. First thing that it says to me, Travi, it's time to reset the mental. It's time to figure out what is going on correctly and what is going on incorrectly within our match. Now we have to play a harder match, a tougher match into the big ones.
10 seconds left.
But it's going to be their map pick, and they've already got the map secured. They're going to be comfortable. We can use that against them. For now, Imperial must be feeling very comfortable, but Razah, they will look for any sort of round that they can potentially find. And don't get me wrong, we've seen this happen before.
We've seen insurmountable comebacks. For me, it's all about the individuals on the side of Razah Company. You've currently got 3 players that between them have 1 pick. It's not going to be enough, especially in the fragging powerhouses on the side of Imperial. These individuals that aren't afraid to step up and make the hero plays, you need to be able to have equal guns on your counterpart to be able to shut them on down. So it's going to be this game of recovery for them, just reset the mental, round by round by round. I think we're going to be seeing another hatch drop type attack here, but of course, Tiaki, before we get to it, you need to clear up this first floor, and Imperial, just as they were last time, they're going to be holding on to it.
Well, it's the same situation, round 2. It feels like this is commonplace at this stage for every single team to kind of operate in the same sort of fashion. And immediately the first kill will come into effect, so we're seeing a bit more of an aggressive playstyle coming in for the side of Razah Company, but Imperial, they've still got members up on that first floor. Take Florio, take Sexy Cake. They're both up and available. Shotgun, still there. And that should be the information that the Ying needs. I'm not going to take Diffuser that way. I know my team is cleared all the way across. As soon as I can get in there, I will give Diffuser over, and then I can look at an approach. But for now, information gathered and vertical available.
Razah Company really boxed up right now. It's actually quite an interesting one, bit different to how we used to see in sort of teams unfold this. They're so grouped up together right now, but equally strength in numbers. Don't let them divide and conquer you separately. Here come the smokes down on towards the objective. Is this where the rush is going to come on in? I feel like it might just be. Here come the asphyxiating bolt straight on through this time. The castle's working against the defense because they can't move quickly in towards the objective. Razah Company have the vertical control they need, but they lost the key factor. They lost the queen. That's going to be that Ying shut on down. It's a 4v4 situation effectively right now with Diffuser cold in the middle of objective. 50 seconds to rectify things.
4 players still up and available for Razah Company, but no Diffuser accessible and available. They've still got 1 asphyxiation bolt up and available, but there's Sexy Cakes who's made the rotation up and around. 2 players are going to be brought down. Smoke goes through. It will remove another, and it leaves 2 up on the big end. The big player will be down to Ness. He has the ability to cancel any sort of potential push, but he is not the one to die first. Raz decides to jump straight back into the site, knows where the player's location is, but Imperial says, look, you tried your best, we were more experienced, and 5 rounds up on the board.
Huge play there from Sexy Cake, turning around the tide of the battle. The retake on towards the top floor. Razah Company, honestly, Tiaki, it seems like they thought it was cleared. They thought it was safe, but no, it wasn't meant to be. Instead, the player was up there looking to contest you, and Razah Company, yet again, just a bit confused in and amongst the chaos of it. Quite interestingly enough, Razah Company have actually been positive on their openings this game. They've actually got more openings than Imperial have. I believe it's 3-2. Overall on the stat line, if I'm not mistaken. They're getting kills opening a lot of the time. It's actually Herbie's most of the time, I believe, doing those numbers, getting those bits. But time and time again, they're finding themselves unable to convert from the opening success.
Yeah, immediately. I mean, look, they get the control, they get the lockdown, they fly in the openers. As you mentioned, it's advantage over to them, and every single section of what they're doing seems somewhat correct. And then the immediate response straight off the bat is, well, no, you want to entry our site, that's fine, we've got it covered. Like, you can take that floor, it's not really of concern to us. And the straight approach from Razah Company is, now we've got this, now we've got the angles, let's get ourselves in, let's find those areas of concern. And then you get someone like Sexy K, who just pops up behind everyone, decides, I'm going to be a bit of a harassment, I'm going to cause a bit of problems here, and finds 2 kills straight off the bat, equalizing the scoreboard almost immediately. Razah Company just doesn't seem to be picking up on these small differences in the playstyle.
Now on towards this tertiary site. Yeah, again, it was the closest one that Razah Co had. I can safely say this time, Tiaki, that I think they have the right idea on how it comes to clear this one. Understanding the importance of that vertical, that's where I think the experience of some of these players can really come to light. Nesk, Kamikaze, these 2 players that have been around the block for ages. Razah as well, always at their side watching them. These players are really experienced in this game. They know what to expect of them. And even though Lair is one of our newer additions to the pool, it's still been here long enough for them to wrap their heads around it. They understand this top floor is going to be important to clear, and that's immediately what they're going to seek to do to start us off.
Well, it's a good start coming in to the fold. Oh, I lost my screen for a second there, but we're back once again. 2 minutes on the board. We made some entries up onto the second floor. Still a great deal of utility for Razah Company. Obviously, they haven't found any sort of major directional in towards the site. Solus is out and about. That information being provided that she is in play. They found out where a few other pieces of electrical are up and available, but what do they have to counter them? Nades, for the most part, and they will be looking to use that, but it's an immediate counter trade back. Imperial feeling incredibly epic at this stage. The nade will come through, but trades go straight back and forth. Look at this go. It is a massacre, a bloodbath, and they're nowhere near the site.
It's disaster on the top floor right now for the side of Razah Co. They're trying to clear it on out. They're trying to go pacey. They're trying to go fast. Unable to do so. 3 versus 3 situation. Pop down a Zoto canister on the floor there. Wipes out the effects of that logic bomb. Meanwhile, Florio has to answer the phone. Put it down the old-fashioned way. Vertical control has now been established for the attack. And you know what? 3v3, it's not the worst situation you could be in. Is it going to be great? No. You've lost a lot of your key utility here. You've burned a lot. You've burned all of those Lion scans. You've burned all of those Dokkaebi calls trying to clear out this top floor. So when it comes to this drop, Tiaki, all you've really got to play around is these 2 frag grenades in the back pocket of Kamikaze. It's going to be a very difficult execute to sell.
But 1 drone up and available. The rest of the drones are already out on site. Sexy Cake going to take a little bit of damage, but decides to get back on the re-aggression and manages to find just nothing for his real honor. On the opposite end, they've still got 2 players up and around. Florio's decided, you know what? My teammates are stuck here. I'm going to go on the aggressive. Diffuser, drop down. 10 seconds remaining on the board. This is a 6-0. I don't think anyone was expecting this kind of
dominance.
Uproar.
No.
Imperial has found a 6-0 half on the opposition's map. Travi, what is going on?
Disaster is what's going on right now if you're Razah Company, Tiaki. Everything that you've planned, everything you've worked towards, it's all spiraling out of control and winding down in front of your eyes. A flawless half working against you on your own map pick, no less. You go onto the defense, an opportunity to try and stabilize things here, but this is a region that know how to attack. This is a region that are competent on both ends of the game. Imperial, all they need to do is one single round, Tiaki. Just one. Razah, they've got a mountain to climb.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even know what to say about this. Like 0-6 in the first game, and it's a map pick of the opposition team. It just doesn't seem like it's a necessity. It doesn't seem real.
No.
How do you allow this to occur if you're on the side of Razah Company? You're going to their map pick next. You cannot allow this to happen.
You're going to Border, and that concerns me for a reason, Tiaki. Lair is a little bit larger, a little more strategical. Border is the exact opposite of that one. It's all about the gunfights, all about the action, all about high-intensity, fast-paced siege. And if you ask me, that's where Razah Company have struggled the most here inside of these ones. It's the end rounds. It's when it starts to get a bit chaotic. They seem to lose themselves in and amongst the mess. That's what the entirety of Border is from start to finish. I don't know if it's going to be the map where they can mount the comeback. They need to show us something here on Lair now to show they've still got teeth in this series. Otherwise, I'm really starting to worry.
Look, for us in our region, especially, and I'm going to say this, when you see a 6-0, 90% of the time that it happens, you instantly have that understanding of, okay, I get it. It's a thing that happens, understandable, everything makes sense. The skill level, the skill gap is too different. Too different between these two teams. One obviously knows the game a lot better than the opposition.
It's not so much.
It's less heard of, and again, it's the same sort of thing. There's a bit of a skill gap. You can tell what the skill gap difference is, or the teams are just not having a very good day and can't maintain that skill gap that they normally have, or the skill level that they normally have. Brazil, the very first game that we're going off, and a game that was supposed to be a banger, is just a blowout.
It's a shame. It's a real gutting one here to see. It is kind of a scoreline. I was hoping for a banger. I was really hoping that our Challenger Series tournaments would kind of come to a close. Obviously, we've got NAL later tonight, but I was really hoping this would be a good game, right, Tiaki? I wanted to see a nice close match between these two sides because they're both historied players. They've both got some really nice long rosters with great history behind them inside of this game, and for many of them, a really bright future as well. But right now, it's just Imperial shining lights and bounds beyond at the moment, and all they need to do is close out this single attack and the job could be done.
Well, the kickoff comes through, 2 minutes on the board. It looks like the information game has already been given over. They already know where one player is directly positioned. The Deimos has made his way into the first floor without a care in the world, and that's the info that he needs. He's still at the range exit at this stage, so he's not directly made his way into the map, but they've got the ping on the location of every single player that they may potentially need. Push in to come through. Again, though, it's just going to be a direct rush onto that mirror, and look how quickly they've given away that piece of utility.
That's Nesk, gone for the count there, unable to make any impact inside of this game so far, and it's a loss that will be felt bad for the defending team. But they are able to find one back inside of the chaos, though. Florio goes down to Razah, meaning that it's a 4v4 situation right now. And while the attack don't quite have the openings they need yet in towards the objective, it's an inevitability. The death mark scan's going to come on through now, identifying where these defenders will lie on through. Push up the staircase, try to get some control out towards this bathroom further side of the map. That's where you need to go right now, because office, it's looking surprisingly vacant. Sexy Kate could just try to choose to run on in, but before it, his teammate Makina just doesn't stop. He keeps on gunning them down. Frag grenade to force them out of position, almost catch Kamikaze there. Imperial looking primed and ready to just go for a plant in this position, and they just do not stop this assault. Going on through, going forward. The C4 though throws chaos into it.
Well, the diffuser going down, so we're going to have 45 seconds on the board. And here's the ticker. It slowly starts to tick. Another Nitro Cell goes out, manages to find one, but it's traded straight back almost immediately. The Deimos doesn't have the ping, but that is it. Imperial find the final round that they were looking for. And attackers, it's over.
Razah Company just getting dismantled on their own map pick there, Tiaki. There's no ways to sugarcoat it, no ways to beat around the bush. That was tragic to see, that was unfortunate. Sexy cake, what a performance from the man. 8 and 3, but Machina, Yex, Florio as well. Everyone having really good numbers, really impressive stat lines throughout that game. You've got to give it to Imperial though. That was some darn fine showcase of how to play Lair.
Oh, absolutely insane. I mean, every angle was positioned perfectly. Every bit of information was gathered in the snap of a single second. And if any other teams are coming through and keeping an eye on this, if any other people are watching these games go out, this is how you play a layer. This is how you maintain it. And this is how to beat opposition teams to the absolute end of the stick, even those that may have a high skill rating.
This is it. You've just dismantled what looked like on paper such a promising roster there. Razah Company, it's going to be back down to the drawing board, Tiaki. We're going to be going up towards border for our second pick of the evening. Not to mention as well, Imperial wanted to go there. You love this map. This is an Oceanic special brought to you by Brazil.
Yes, yes. Absolutely beautiful. Good. It's going to be a fun map too. But we talk about the aggression, we talk about the slow play that we saw inside of Layer. Now we implement that into border, and it should just be a absolute massacre. It is going to be a sophisticated and complicated and completely vexing mess.
It's going to be,
and I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be a real banger of a map, certainly, to say the least. However, we need to rest our voices after that one. For the side of Razah, I think it's a little bit back to the drawing board. But first and foremost, we're going to go towards this quick break.
Welcome back to the Challenger Stories, folks. We are here with another episode today with the Last Fire. Last Fire. To folks at home that might not know you, please introduce yourself.
I am Lasfire. I work for Chiefs, an Australian esport club. I'm their social media manager guy.
Social media guy, so making memes, various shenanigans, causing, stirring the pot a little bit online.
Yeah, trying to be a little annoying, but like the good annoying.
There's a good amount.
Yeah.
Host finds that amount. Host is quite good at finding that.
Trying to match the Australian vibe, which basically means being a. Can I swear?
We'll bleep out.
I shit cunt.
Okay, none of that meant the cut. That's fine. So, how did you get into Siege first, before all of this social media stuff? How'd you get in the game?
Well, I moved to Australia on a complete whim to study after, my studies in America being kind of weird. So I decided, you know what, let's just go to Australia. I don't know anybody, let's just go to Australia. I ended up going there, and I was like, you know what? I need some friends. I need to figure something out. Like, I just need people to talk to.
Yeah.
Joined their esport club, and they asked me, what do you play? And I said Rainbow Six, and they're like, oh, good. We have like 5 teams in Rainbow Six. You could join the shit one, right?
Lovely. Yeah.
We did excellent as the garbage team.
As the garbage
Everybody was like, oh damn. They bumped us to second, like out of the 5 teams, and then did well there. We're the only team to ever have another uni above us, if that makes sense. Wait, like the only uni with 2 teams in the playoffs is how
you had multiple teams going there. So you did well for yourself.
That's the only. That's never happened in the Aussie League, the Aussie. Uni League.
And then transitioning from that player role, where do you land then today, social media management?
So, a German dude by the name of Dispa, he contacted me and said, hey, do you want to work for Wildcard? Because I cannot stand being up when not the Americans, when the Aussies are up. So can you talk to the Australian team when I'm sleeping?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure, why not? I can do that. And yeah, it just moved on from there.
It's moved on from there, and now with Chiefs, I'm presuming looking into APL next year, all the big leagues, big stuff. What's the next thing? I could probably guess your answer for this one. In the esports roadmap, all that. What's the one thing that's really excited you out of that all?
I mean, Japan.
Japan.
Asia
Easy
finally,
answer.
APAC finally has something.
They have a major.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there, I'm guessing.
I am going to be there.
You're going to be there. And Chiefs are going to be there?
I better be.
Better be.
I'd love to work it. I'd love to be there, yapping, being on that side of the camera, you know, doing all that stuff.
One final question. The most special thing about all of this, the work you do.
Yeah.
What's number one on that list for you?
I mean, it has to be just meeting people. It has to be talking to people that I'm like, you've always been a name and barely ever a face.
Yeah.
And then having somebody being like, hey, last fight, I know you. You're like, I'm this guy. And I'm like, that feeling of, you know, a friend being real is...
It's weird, isn't it? We're playing with people from all across the world and all together here in one building, celebrate our love for this game. And well, hopefully, we'll be seeing you again at the majors next year, at the Invitational.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me on such short notice as well. Appreciate it, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, cool, going. Well, Tiaki, it feels like we only just got started with that one, but Razah Company, Imperial, this first game of the evening, it was a pretty speedy one.
It was very quick, my friend.
It was very quick. It was speedy. It was zooming. 7-0 finish. Crazy stuff. Absolute crazy.
An absolute 7-0 finish. Absolutely insane. Something that honestly, I wouldn't expect at all.
No. Not out of these guys, you wouldn't. Like, not out of these guys. You really would not kind of expect that 7-0 finish. I mean, we cut towards the maps that we have inside of this veto here. Let Imperial win it out 7-0. Demolish through it. We now go to border, the map pick of Imperial themselves, Tiaki. And based on how this map plays, things are not looking good for Razah.
No, absolutely not. I mean, they're behind the ball straight off the bat. That was an Imperial 7-0. I don't think... and their map as well. That was, I don't even know what to say. Everything was clinical. Everything was perfectly made and absolutely insanely well played from them. And coming into this so far, Razah Company, they need to find some sort of step up on a different map, not even their own map, which is just mental.
And it's the Gunners on the side of Imperial really stepping up to the table there. Sexy Cake, Florio, Meatrix especially, Minan Machina and Yex joining the fold. Everyone on that team is gunning. Everyone on that team is fragging out, demolishing. They're having a field day in the office right now, Tiaki. And as we look towards border, things are about to get dicey.
Oh, absolutely, Border, my man. It is the attacking domain. It is the square-shaped site hold. It is the square map of hell, as I call it, the Massacre King. And we love to see it in play. Bans coming through onto the board. And, oh, man, I can't wait to see what happens from this map. I mean, I don't even know what to say, to be honest. I'm still absolutely lost from last game.
Yeah, same. This is going to be a very interesting one here. Heading on to the side pick of Imperial now. They want to come here. This is where they are feeling at their strongest. And honestly, Tiaki, with how they played in the first map, with how they played in map 1, what lied to their strengths, that quick, impressive fragging game, brought us at home for them. So operator band's going to come on through for them. They're taking out the Goya, they're taking out the Warden, focusing around those execute statement plays there, not allowed to be stalled out by the fire. And then more importantly, when you bring something like this Glass from Sexy Cake, you're then going to be able to have the response for them, and they're not going to be able to shoot back at you through the smoke.
Oh, easily enough. And I mean, we've seen it on both sides. Now, Razah Company, they'll start off on the defensive side. We saw how Imperial played immediately up against them going into layer. And it was the beginnings of a work of art. Now coming into this is where it starts to get a little bit different, a little bit difficult from the side of Imperial. We're starting off on their attacking half. We know that they can do it well. They were able to secure one singular round. But again, that's one singular round. That doesn't mean anything. Whether or not there's been tweaks to the way that Razah have been playing, whether or not they've tailored their roster up against Imperial, will be questioned in every single round coming up.
On towards Armory Lockers, as is where most border defenses will start themselves. It is by a long shot the strongest site on this map here. The defense will be flexible, hold out throughout the remainder of the top floor. Significance presence out towards CC's side. Use the two brow, a lot of oil angles in there, so the DMR makes it a perfect operator for this kind of situation. Equally on the flip side of things, Imperial going to be trying to dislodge there, playing a lot around their utility game, understanding there's traps on the opponent's side, so you bring in that Brava, hack them out, convert them to your side. Because those Razor Blooms, they can be incredibly nasty.
Oh, man, jumping into them. We've seen them take, I don't know how many lives, and if not, enough feet. Left, right, and center, causing so many potential problems. But immediately, Imperial, they will identify every single bit of utility that's within the close place. And it's not what I'm thinking. I think it can't be what I'm thinking, right?
It has to be what we're thinking. I'm glad I'm not the only one spotting it. They just look like they want to rush in through office side and see what the hell happens. You've got the Thatcher there to deny the utility. You've got the Osa on the outside, try and stick down the plant. Here we're going to go on through, but enough resistance being faced right now to temporarily at least stall out the defense. Meatrix, though, going to be the first one to get the pick. Shuts down Razah inside Imperial, going towards this one, trying to find a space to stick down the plant. But the defense, they are fighting back. They are denying it. The C4 finally connects. 3v3 situation, and somehow this rush is working, Tiaki.
Including the last 1 minute and 30 seconds as another Razor Bloom gonna go out. May find the avenue onto Sexy Cakes, but he's not gonna get that plant down and pat. The information is gonna be there from below. Shots going every which way. They know the direction of the last two players on the map. And now the push potentially up and available. They know that this mirror could be in any position, and it looks like we're just going to see a slowed down play from Imperial. They've been able to open up a lot of options into this site and a lot of plant points, but it's going to be the Thorn once again identified. Shots from underneath. That is how you use Deimos.
Perfect example of the operator there, and it leaves it down to Nesk. Impactless in the first map of the series here, and has to go huge here to deny the 8-0 record for the opposing side. One down the main stairs, one holding the long outside of the balcony. It's going to be a tough one here. Should be easily isolated here. Pre-fire on towards Florio will shut him down. Meatrix rushing up the staircase now, could choose to pop the death mark if he wants to, but he thinks the AK is enough, and it will be denied the clutch up. Imperial do not stop their streak on border.
Not the longest I've seen so far. I've seen a 14-0 and a 21 14-0 over multiple matches. But for now, a 14-0 against a top-tier team like Razah Company, a team that we were expecting a lot of, seems to be on the table, on the boards. Imperial answer straight back with almost a thrown together strategy of the Deimos, and you can instantly identify what operator may be a potential problem. And straight off the bat, the Deimos is reintroduced. Razah Company, stay with Armory.
Back up to the top, they're going to go, and you know what, that's fine, Tiaki. I think that was a very close round played there for them. They understand that it's unlikely that Imperial are going to go for that rush, crazy play. Yet, again, I'm looking at this operator lineup, and I feel like I might be about to eat my own words. Ignoring that for now, defense going to be going largely with what they brought the 4. Key difference this time being the introduction of Razah hopping on towards the mute for this lineup. What this one is going to bring is safety from the logic bomb, safety from those drones. More importantly, it's just going to hold the speed that Imperial can get this information on towards you. It's going to make them have to double guess themselves, and cherry on top, a bit of a safety net as well from those Deimos Deathmark trackers.
Tick tock goes the clock, and at the moment it is not looking good. Maybe the clock may be broken for Razah Company, because so far Imperial have shown no signs of slowing down, no signs of stopping their way through. And at this stage, the mirror will begin the final bits of preparation. And I just look at the board. I look at the operators that have been picked. I look at the pressure that could potentially come into play. And now we're going to see a different-sided push. It's not going to be the direct push. It can only work once or twice before your enemies start to identify it. But, I mean, just considering that the Deimos is back on the board, I feel like Razah Company may be in a little bit of a tough situation. There is one player downstairs, however. It's the Thorn.
It's the Fawn out on a run, and more importantly, one thing I love from this is she is bringing out her Razor Blooms here. She's bringing them in her back pocket, ready to preactively use them as the round is going on through. But the attack just don't give one about her. They're charging up towards the objective. They're sticking a diffuser on down in the midst of chaos there. 3 quick kills coming in for Razah Company. Imperial thought they spotted gold, but all they found was a little bit of disaster. Sentinel's going to try to obscure this plant as it goes down towards the floor. Looking to try and challenge now. Kamikaze will find it. C4 from Razah finishes it. And finally, Tiaki, after 9 rounds of siege, they're on the board. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. This is a great game.
That was like that was a ham-fisted attempt at getting a plant down. Everything was just like, oh, look, there's a little bit of an opening. There's a little bit of a weakness here. Let's rush it. Let's send it into the round and get it down as quickly as possible. And then whatever happens after that, you know, it is what it is. Nothing really to be concerned about. But it just feels like the level that we're seeing here from Imperial is so incredibly high that they're not really too concerned about their position. And Razah, look, you got a courtesy round in that set. I can give you that for sure. But now coming into it is where things begin to get serious. I thought we started to see a little bit of that from Imperial in the last round, but then we had 2 players rushing up the main stairs. So coming into this round, Imperial may be a very scary opponent.
We're expecting them to play this, like, quote-unquote, properly, in the fact of they going downstairs, it's the Deimos, there's a Fawn on the roam, we're expecting them to go and clear out the Fawn, and then it's like, the sat-nav tells them to take a wrong turn, and they just start charging up a staircase. It's like, hold on a minute, what's happening here? They're on the site planted, it's chaos, it's siege. Welcome to Brazil. 3 rounds in now towards this one. Razah Company finally on the board, but it's only 1-1. Tiaki is still early days just as of yet. Forced to rotate out towards this bathroom site here. I love this castle. Actually, I really like this fortification, kind of going on towards the bottom of east.
In 50 meters, when you reach the top of the stairs, you will see on your right side a mirror. Please shoot and turn left almost immediately. Thank you.
Exactly that.
Something
perfect.
Something like a full GPS kind of notification, you know, the slow ones that we see from Google Maps and What's the other one that failed absolutely massively? I'm pretty sure it's an Apple one, but that doesn't matter. It looks like Flashbang's going in once again. You want to be absolutely lost. It's fine. The jump in is going to be made. I think they're fully covered. This is completely clear. And the diffuser's in.
Yeah, they're sticking it all the way on through here. Razah Company, while they're able to find one back, Kamikaze with another. Yet again, Imperial just going for this rush plant attempt, charging up here on towards the offices. Player will shut him on down, leaving the two outside the building. It's Florio and Yex, one with a shotgun, one with the DMR, to try and stall the line. Utility has been burned. You have nothing to throw back their direction, but pulled out by the keeper barricades. They're just going to try and stick this plant. DMR opens it. Yex is ready for it. 2 quick kills. Responded with one the other direction. We're trying this keeper barricade yet again. Looking for the pick, looking to try and find the player. It's a mess. It's chaos, but Florio finds them all. What are we witnessing? What is this?
Who told the teams to open up ranked?
Honestly. Bro, this isn't
Who
even
told
ranked.
the teams that they're playing a ranked game?
This is quick play. This is like quick play 101.
Who taught the teams to rush B? Because that is exactly what we're seeing here. Competitive, schmeditive. It does not matter. And it feels like the circles are honestly being completely run around Razah Company right now. Every attempt at counteraction of any of these strats, anything that we see as none of it's normal. Let me just face that straight here and now. None of this is normal. But the fact that we're seeing it work is just on another level. Travi, you asked me to come in to cast some competitive games for the SAL. I said absolutely, it should be an enjoyable time. I didn't mean this enjoyable.
This is just fun. This is kind of giving, like, it's starting to give showmatch almost kind of vibes. I don't want to detract from how well Imperial especially are playing this one, but equally, we're just having fun with it right now, and I feel like they're having fun with it right now. I know Nesk and Razah on their team are streaming their POVs respectively. I don't understand a word of Portuguese, so I don't even want to dare boot it up, but if I could understand the comms, I feel like even they're having a little bit of fun just going with emotions right now through this one. Imperial, as you say, Tiaki, the crazy thing first is that they're trying it, but the crazier thing is that it's got a 66% success rate so far. Surely Razah Company clock on, this is how this half's going to play.
Well, it's a weird set of playstyles that is really coming into effect, because you've got areas of rush where they're rushing straight into the map. You've got sections where they're playing it slow. You've got sections where they're finding weaknesses and abusing it. And then immediately backtracking to just, we know what their weakness could potentially be for this site. Let's push straight in and immediately capitalize on every single thing that they're doing. It just seems to be working out so incredibly well. And you can tell by the movement of these players, the droning, the clearances that are being made. These players know what they're doing and how to approach it, including the players on Razah Company. They've expected this. They understand it's controlled chaos, but it is still chaos. And there's chaos.
It's chaos and chaos and chaos and chaos. Nesk, the first one to fall there. Mitrix making outside the building all the way in vehicle. Where the hell is this Deimos right now? He's just gotten a freebie on towards Nesk. I have no clue where he's found that one from, but it certainly will not be appreciated here by the defense. Kamikaze getting aggressive now inside of offices. Wants to take the fight to this lion outside on the balcony, but not going to be able to do so. Caught in an FNAT mine running away. Herbies as well, dropping, I believe, to the Deimos from underneath. And this is more like it, Tiaki. Razah Company are starting to struggle under the pressure.
Yeah, immediately it's capitalization on every single potential angle, of course. We've still got Kamikaze and Razah still up and available. Members from the opposition team covering from up above. But Kamikaze, his position has been identified. His position has been found. Information provided there. Shock charges find 2 small hits. And it will be the drop of 1, so it's not going to be a flawless. Take it back. He misses the shots. A flawless round coming in. 3.
3-1.
I'm trying to speak, but I don't think I have anything else I can really say. Just Imperial is showing how much of another level they are on. The last time I saw this kind of gameplay was when we put a tier 1 relegation team up against a tier 3.
Yeah, this is kind of how it feels a little bit at the moment there. Imperial locking in for that round, playing things a bit more seriously, a bit more by the book. It means, don't get me wrong, they still played a bit with their usual shenanigans. They're having some fun with it here, but ultimately, they're coming out on top, Tiaki. Borders playing directly in towards their strengths. And when Razah Company continue to lose these early gunfights, lose these early picks, they're not going to be able to have the response, have the firepower that they're going to need to win these ones on out. So now we head to a 3-1 scoreline. Imperial starting to build up a little bit of a lead here. This is what we expect from a team on their own map pick. Now it's just keep on building.
The interesting concept I can immediately see straight off the board is nitro cells are being brought just in case that potential rush does come into play. The Blackbeard will immediately be picked up. The Ash also introduced for a bit of momentum, but at the same time, everything else that is provided is still up and available. I'm confused to a degree as to why Razah Company didn't look at banning off the Deimos with how oppressive he has been so far this match. But for now, it's going to come down the way that Imperial really wants to make this push. Collections up above, and instead it's aggression being felt from Razah Company to Imperial. Clearances up and above, but with 1 player down still doesn't mean that this round is anywhere near over.
Nope, that is just a piece of rock in the road, just a little stumbling point there. Nothing too much to worry about there. Holding tightly onto east stairs now is going to be this Fawn. Yeah, a little speed bump inside of the road, and that's a massive speed bump on the side of Razah. Star player so far this series. Herbie's going to be taken off the board there. Almost losing Razah as well, but here comes Nesk. Welcome to the series, you legend. 3 kills inside of this round. Turns it on its head. Imperial on the back foot, but Makina charging in through Armory, looking to recover.
Where have you been, Nesk? Quadra kill on the board. 1 player remaining. This should be an information grabbing game, but they have all the info that they need from underneath. Clearance made, and now they know where he is. Pings will go out. He has the info and the information down below. Onto the Thorn. The Thorn will get 1 ping of the location, but it won't be enough to remove him straight back. Again, Nesk has been the absolute factor within this game so far. The correct pings, correct location. That Thorn is searching for him right through the endpoint. Double peek comes in, and it's not over just yet. The Deimos going back and forth. He's got 3 members to watch for, and it won't be the ace. We've had 1 today, but not in this game. Or at least not yet.
Not yet. We still got some game to be played here. And here we go. Razah Company, they're off of the back of Nesk, trailing together their second round here inside of the map. Where has this Nesk been the whole time, Tiaki? I really have to wonder, was he just like saying, let these guys have their fun, and then just waking up randomly in the middle of this one? Absolute insanity to get that 4K inside of that round there. And it was a really back and forth round until yet again an individual steps onto the mark and goes absolutely crazy. Imperial, last round, a lot of those kind of plays were built around Makina, built around Florio and Sexy Cake. Here inside of map 2, you've now got players on Razah Company starting to feel those really big boots. And who else would it be than Nesk?
Well, it's good to have him introducing himself into the match, but maybe it's a little bit too late. So once again, Imperial will probably be making a bit of a switch on. They've realized they've given the Razah Company 2 rounds. They probably don't want to give them any more than they've already provided. For now, though, it's protection of the upstairs, set up in towards the armory side. Mirror walls looking to be placed. Kamikaze, you need to place that down at some point in time, preferably sometime soon before the preparation phase is over. So the last bit of prep begins to come in. And Imperial, they'll be feeling the squeeze now. Whether or not they decide to get more aggressive or whether or not they decide to go for a potential rush play is on the cards, considering the operators that they've brought.
It's always a possibility here inside of this game that we're going to be setting up ourselves for a nice default, boring old round, and then all of a sudden, Imperial just decide to hold down their W keys and see what the hell happens. At least, though, we're going to get through the first 25 seconds of this round without finding a single kill going either direction. A slower start to this one than we have been used to seeing, but equally for Baller, it's all par for the course as the attacks start to circle around this top floor and look to dislodge these players on the vert.
Oh, ping. Yeah, this is
They're lining up outside of Edmund. Yeah, we're
2.
going for it. Okay, go on, Tiaki. Off you go.
Nades go in. Pings begin to go out. The shots do not land. The diffuser, 1 second of collection, and immediately it's picked straight back up. Imperial trying to go for the same old strategies. It does not work out. Each member ends up being taken off the board. There's only one remaining sentry up and available. 1 to 5 scenario needs to clear, finds the first. It is going to be Nesk taken off the board. That's the soulless information provided. Apparently Kamikaze decided to kamikaze himself into the good old Claymore underneath a bomb site. Appearance found. He knows that he's been able to move straight through. And there's the kill to confirm it off. Razah Company will find their 3-3 half. But now Imperial have given Razah the ability to reset back up. We're back to a 3-on-3. The bans have been cleared. This is where things will start to get a little bit interesting.
A little bit interesting, a little bit dicey here. Razah Company on the table for the first time this series. Is that courtesy of them playing some good rounds of Siege, or is that down to Imperial just saying, what the hell, let's just see what happens 6 times in a row? I'll leave it up to the viewers at home to decide that one. Either way, though, an absolutely chaotic round and then a chaotic half here inside of Border. I expected nothing less from this map, nothing less from this region, and this series is starting to shape up here to deliver a little bit. Let's just hope Imperial can keep on building.
More builds to continue on, more places to continue playing, and areas to change the game, change the way that they are going to be opting around. And for now, it comes down to second floor armory, second floor archives to start it off. Imperial will go on to the defensive side, whether or not they decide to get a little bit aggressive or just play around with the timer as it is. You know how it sometimes be. But the moves are going to start to come through. Here we go. Defensive setup in play. It's time for the game to start kicking off. I don't really know what to say because this game has really taken all the words out of my brain.
It's just topsy-turvy, Siege. It's all over the place, Siege. 1 minute we're playing it a little bit normally, and then nope, psych, we're going in for event rush plant. Honestly, I'm quite curious to see whether Razah Co are going to try the exact same thing, Tiaki. They've probably been the more reserved of the 2 teams throughout this series. The ones kind of less likely to really want to make that push, make that sort of spurt of aggression. So equally, it's going to be that kind of decide of how do we do it, how do we go for it. I will assume they will play on the side of reservation. Assume they will play that little bit more defaulted, but only time can tell.
Well, looking at the setup, looking at the pressure that's already been placed on them, looking at the clearances from the long angles is available and seeable from both sides. And it looks like we will be able to start seeing a bit of preparation coming into play. Don't forget, Imperium can just absolutely lock in and start finding kills left, right, in center. Back and forth, it begins to go through. The first point of contact will be the Aruni into CCTV. Clearances will need to be made. They have the Nomads up and available. Drones will begin to come through. Kamikaze confirming the close location. But again, it's this Aruni that's the problem. every second that they don't make to clear it, it becomes a lot more difficult to find the potential opener or find the potential win. And Razah, I mean, they will want everything on this map, considering they've already gone down one.
Yep, they need to win this map. There's no ifs, no buts about it. They need to get this one over the line here. Makina having a bit of a quiet game compared to how he started on Lair here. But seeing the eye of the Blackbeard, wants to go for the gunfight. But no, there's a shield in the way. You can't do it. Instead, it's going to be Nitrix to close things up. First to first, he finds Nesk on the window, spotting the Blackbeard on out. Grad grenade is going to be thrown here. But then you've got the castle to provide support from the corner. Your teammate has gone down, but then there's another layer to this. Tiaki, Florio's come in to support. Razah Company far on the back foot now.
Well, 3v2, it's not completely over as of just yet. Kamikaze's still up and available. Damage is going to be dealt. Herbs is able to find another. Make it 2. It leaves Yex all by himself. 1v2 scenario. Needs to identify where this potential plant opportunity is going to go from or where or to. But as soon as that drone finds the information, finds the key location of the mirror, it comes down to the last 40 seconds.
Clock's ticking down now, 45 to go on this one. Yex going to be in a really difficult position in this clutch position against the Blackbeard out on here. You know there's one on towards the right. You're eyeing up the one where he's likely going to go and try and do for the defuse, but you find ahead of him. You're now in a 1v1 with the shield operator, and you're able to win it as well. Imperial do not stop. These individual players just popping off, going massive, and they will get them the first round of this half, not surrendering this lead. My
it's not over.
God.
It's not done yet. It certainly isn't. And we've started to see the lock-on coming in from Imperial now as Razah Company. I mean, look at them. They absolutely just jump straight into the way of the opposition team. A 3-4 scenario with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining already on that board, and it was absolute massacre from then on. 1-2, ending up with the opposition team having the control. So the push, the shove begins to come into play as the setup for ventilation is shown.
We go in defense. Razah Company there struggling just a little bit in that round there. It was a close one, close fought affair, all things granted, but you've just got to give it to the individual play there. Yex just going crazy inside of that one. That's the kind of individual performances that wins you rounds, and from there as a team you can go on to win games. Taking the lead up ahead of Razah now, they will find themselves, as you say, down towards Vent. It's going to be playing a very default lineup here, bringing that Goyo, bringing that smoke all across the map, just to try and slow and stall out Razah Company. Meanwhile, on the flip side, they've got a lot of shields yet again, bringing that Blackbeard, bringing that Flores. You know exactly why they're bringing it, and it's a reason it's tried and tested on Border.
Well, this looks like a lineup for a direct push onto the Armory side. Kamikaze potentially able to do a little bit of damage, potentially able to move a few members up and around, and it looks like information will be there. No direct push in towards the site. Main stairs is going to be the location of one, but the rest of the players are just going to be sitting up on that top floor. Slow push coming in from Razah. He begins to clear direct up forward. And it looks like they've been able to find the player inside of CCTV as well. His position in a bit of a tough situation. Of course, the 2v2 scenario could potentially end up being there. Maybe, maybe not.
He wants to go for this. Makina.
It does look like it.
He wants to go. He wants to spring in towards action. Instead, it's Yex going to be trying to cause some chaos here on side of the Warden, but slapped back in towards the objective by the frag grenades there, giving the space for Razah to charge on through towards CC side. We'll clear that portion of the map out there, take down one of the defenders with them, who I think just biting off a little bit more than they could chew, and poor old Makina cornered, shut down, but no, there's a trade back, there's a response. It's Florio, it's Sexy Kate going absolutely nuclear right now, and Razah Company suddenly on the back foot, although equalising picks have been found.
Oh my, I was talking about the 2v2 scenario on that opposite side, but it looks like we are getting a 2v2 scenario. Razah.
Oh, oh yeah, okay.
And Flores back up in duty. They're both up and available. And at the same time, it's a bit of back and forth. A little bit of the, oh, now I have to do my job coming in from Mytrix. But of course, this is a tough situation to be in. No HP, and you've got Florio with that shotgun in play. The KSG can absolutely wrap around and cause a little bit of damage. I shouldn't say a little, a lot of damage to the opposition team. All it requires is 2 shots, and then you're out of it. You're out of the battle for now. There's one coming straight through. Will the second be shortly provided? And yes, it will. Imperial continue their run.
Good stuff there from Imperial. And really nice round from the dirty angle from the chassis as well. It's just chaos emerging inside of the server here. It's mad stuff. It's really just crazy siege going through between these two sides right now. And just what is witnessing in front of our eyes here, Tiaki. I'm starting to get a sense of that old Imperial back right now. They're really starting to just go crazy on this game, and they're not showing us any chances of slowing down now they're on the defense.
Oh, no, absolutely. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there we go. Absolutely not. Everything seems to suggest that Imperial just has to take that second to lock in, to understand their current position, their current location, and the best way to approach it. On the opposite end, we're going back upstairs, and it looks like a different set of operator lineup coming in for Imperial. Something more towards a lot of defensive capabilities. Not so much roam capabilities. No Aruni. No significant operators that just run around like the Vigil or anything like that. It looks like they're still on the idea of locking down in towards the site.
They are. Bunker down. Played that objective out on through. As you will see, Imperial a little more spread across the map here. Open up the 30 few seconds where they can go. Imperial now just need to lock out these final 2 rounds, Tiaki. That's going to be the big important plays for them here. 2 more and you've done your job. You've booked your spot in the finals of the SAL Challenger Series. As for Razah, there's still ways to go.
Yeah, exactly. 2-round differential, 4-round differential, but that's a beautiful start. Nesk becomes a little bit more active in this game, manages to spot the second, but Mytrix sees the angle, sees the player, and almost puts the damage down. Back and forth it will go with 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the board. It's still a long period to get through. The long swing from Sexy Cake. He hasn't been able to find too much in this match. And the answer is he won't find anything on that side. Clearance from both sides is being made.
Razah just charging on through Armory right now. The defense left retreating on away, but it leaves them very isolated, Tiaki. Look at their different positions right now. You've got one inside of lobby, one inside of stairs, and now they're going to regroup with each other, and they better do so because they're going to be all that is left. Florio and Sexy Cake spread apart throughout this map. Minute 50 seconds to go here. Razah Company finding a bit of action here inside of border, able to establish his 4v2 advantage. Now all you need to do is just close the round.
The round continues to tick down. 4v2. You said it yourself. There's a lot of time here to make the clearances that are needed. Florio and Sexy Cakes will start it off, though. Sexy Cakes able to find the kill onto the Dokkaebi upstairs, leaving it in a tough position. A 2v3 scenario. They need to find some way down towards the site. They've still got this amazing operator of Kamikaze playing the Blackbeard. Should be able to clear at least enough of an angle straight up. And there's a 1v1 scenario. Nitrocell goes out. How does that not kill Kamikaze? Damage being sent back and forth. He's still in that position. It's a tough play to find. Yeah. Both players are going to be knocked down, but Kamikaze survives.
The ace went down there. I think that was to a Razor Bloom. Absolute shenanigans inside of that one, Tiaki. Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one. How that ace did not die to all of that, honestly, is ever so slightly beyond me. Crazy stuff there for them. Really, really good siege. And now it's going to be in this position where we're at the quarter waypoint. Bans are going to be made on through. Imperial, they're ahead, but it does feel a little more hotly contested down on Lair. That tomfoolery in the first half of the game, it might be risky for them. Blackbeard and a Fawn, perfectly adequate bans for what we've seen so far.
I just don't know what to say. Everything that Razah Company seems to be doing is locked in to a degree, and then it just becomes completely disheveled when Imperial start going further in the round, and then we start to see individual playstyles coming out from Imperial. It is lockdown on lockdown on lockdown. Perfect identity plays from each of their members, and that's exactly what you kind of want to see there, Travi. If each of your members can push it all the way through, there's no point in worrying. Why bother making any worries? You can easily continue to kick off, and just find every single little piece that is needed. And I mean, just look at this right now. Look at the scoreline. It's 1-0 for Imperial, 5-4 for Razah. For Imperial still. And we're going back and forth even in this game, but the amount of plays that have been made and the way that they've been played has been consequentially so different.
It's a far cry from what we're used to in Siege, right? Like sometimes you'll see it where a team wins map one, it's a close overtime game. They get to map 2, they lose a little bit of steam if they lose it, and then it's a 7-0, 7-2, whatever. It's rare we see the inverse of it, I feel. How often do you see a team get absolutely demolished on a map 1 and then come back to map 2 and it goes, hold on a minute, we might have a bit of a series coming through on our hands here. So credit to Razah Company for really just locking in, building up, and not letting the mental get them down here on a position where they can try and tie the game using the blitz. Now the Blackbeard is banned.
Yeah, look, you get too incredibly locked in on one specific type of play. It just ends up, or you become overconfident on your playstyles, and it may as well be the end of the game for you. You position yourself in such a bad position that your mental becomes chalked after the next game. You manage to win the first, and here it starts to come through. Imperial already have found 2, but somehow Nesk has made it in towards the site. Damage being dealt on both ends. It's a trade back onto 1. They need to find the clearance onto the second. The mirror is going to be brought down. We're back to a 3-on-3 scenario. Plant opportunity available. Sexy Cake taking a lot of damage. He won't be able to move downstairs, but this plant will successfully go through. And now it's down to the way that these guys play.
Perfect half take there from the side of Razah Company, just to get in towards the objective, take what they need. The fuse goes down. Now find themselves in a 3v3. Just have to be careful not to lose themselves to the guns here of this defense. Trade for trade, blow for blow. Makeda gets one, shut back on down, but it leaves it all up to Sexy Cake here as Liquid lights up with another one, courtesy of Nesk. It's all down to 1, triple in the round. Nesk is back in the lobby. Tiaki, I feel like it's up and down with this guy. 1 minute he's just sitting there quietly, and then the next round he remembers, oh yeah, I'm Nesk, and just pew 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 pew.
Every 2 minutes it feels like he's just forgotten how the gun works and then realized his safety was on, and then takes off the safety, and all of a sudden it just absolutely massacres the entire lobby. Something is going right on the side of Razah Company, and something is going wrong on the side of Imperial at this current stage in time. There has been perfect situations where Imperial have been able to lock out these rounds. There have been times where they have been playing around, but at this stage, it feels like Razah Company might be coming to life. Maybe there's been a bit too much time given over to them, and maybe Imperial should have been continuing with the run that they had at the current stage in time, with the momentum that they had at the current stage in time, with the way that they were playing on map number 1. Now you're on Struggle Street.
Yeah, Struggle Street, my favourite. Where I live on ranked games myself. And here for these players, it's going to be a toughie from here on out. One of these sides will get an opportunity to close this game out map in regulation. Whoever wins this round will be blessed with such an opportunity. Imperial going towards Bathroom Teller's site now. Not going to be returning to that top floor site. Don't want to play there. Just want to let it go for a moment. Bringing up the lineup that we used to seeing from them. Razah, it's going to be much of the same. Bringing in the Nomad, though, this time to try try and stop any pesky flanks from the defense.
Well, immediately, there's 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Oh, correction, sorry. We're down below that, and it looks like this lineup is somewhat interesting. You got a bit of slow, bit of stall capabilities. Quite a lot, actually, if you consider the players that are currently up and available. The Fenrir, of course, being in there with the smoke and the Goyo canisters. Malusi as well. Everything screams slow. The only one that doesn't is, of course, the Sentry.
Let's go up ahead now, leading the assault on through. Spots the players in CC, but not going to take them in a direct gunfight just yet. Makeda here, ready on the fire extinguisher to pop it at a moment's notice. What's that one's going to do is put the Blitz into a bit of a shield lock animation there, meaning that he can't just push on through blind. Nesk spotting the one on the long angle, making the entry on through. Stalemate kind of emerging through here. Imperial just peeling on back a little bit. Interestingly, though, without taking gunfights.
Yeah, it looks like they're just taking a little bit of time, waiting for Razah Company to try and make a potential push towards them, and potentially looking for that match point or pushing themselves into that match point position rather than letting Razah Company really put up the essential fight that they've been making so far. So, bit of back and forth at this stage. Razah Company beginning to clear a lot of that utility. Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing many aggressive plays just yet. They know that one player is sitting close on that angle. It's still Nesk. Where is he? He's sitting in Armory. So 3 members sitting up that close angle.
Oh,
Jax? Jax? Run.
I like this. No, I like this. Hold your ground. Be confident. Back yourself through this one. Nesk able to find Makeda, will be traded back on out by Mitrix there, but then yet again there's another trade-in go. C4 up from Florio, Yex up with another pick as well. Told you it would work, Tiaki, it's a 1v3 situation. Razah left on his lonesome.
We're in ranked, I swear. The back and forth it goes through. Oh my, it is absolute massacre. Left, right, and center. Beautiful plays from both teams, but at the end of the day, it's Imperial who stand strong. Match point round, series point round, sleep point round. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Tiaki wants to go to bed.
I'm reaching that point. Second floor Armory, second floor Archives. And at this stage in time, Razah Company, you need to find some sort of answer back. You need to confirm that this game is over and done with. Oh, sorry, that's Imperial. Razah, you need to keep this game alive if you want to make it to that match number 3 over on Nighthaven Labs.
Labs. What a fun little prospect that one would be. Whether we get there, though, that is still all up in the air. And it's all in the hands of Razah and his lovely little company that he's assembled for himself. It's a nice little group, actually. I've really enjoyed watching these guys play. I'm not sure what the goal is. Like, I'm assuming they're playing to win, obviously, here inside of this one for Razah. But equally, they've got the skins on. It feels to me they're just having fun with this one, absolutely dominating themselves because they're good players. They can put a lights-out performance on. It's so good. It's just so fun to watch this game of Siege. In Imperial, they've been playing absolutely lights out as well, Tiaki. I'm so engrossed in this roster now and watching them on through because it's been a really fun blend of Siege they've played.
Well, it definitely looks like a high level of play coming in from both sides. I mean, you can't take out the fact that Razah Company hasn't been playing well because they have. Everything that they've been doing is the basis for what a lot of these tier 2 teams have been playing like. And I mean, they deserve the position that they're in now. And look, up against any other competition that I've seen from any other region, they do really, really well. It's just about considering what they do up against the tier 1 teams. Imperial obviously want to show their ability to be a tier 1 team, and Nesk caught off the board early.
I mean, if you want to show yourself as a T1 team, take down a recently retired T1 player. Oh my God. No, he's not there. Is their body there? Oh, the body is there. I see it on the left. He's there. You hit that angle. You've got to be kidding me. How? Mitrix, my God, that is disgusting stuff. 4v5 now. Razah Company starting this round without a flank watch.
Well, that's an immediate big pickup. Nomad, such an oppressive operator in the right hands. But again, the other thing that I need to mention, we haven't been seeing a clash. The clash has been up and available, but no one's been using it. A huge amount of damage going on Machina. And at this stage, it's getting closer and closer to the 6th defender time. Bit of trades back and forth. A 4v3 scenario. Drop down to be made by one of the members from Razah Company. Or correction. No, was it?
Yeah.
I'm lost. No, it was in Razah Country. It was Matrix from Imperial. And with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, it's got to be a quick push.
Indeed. Razah Company really need to get going now. They've lost that line. The execute utility that they'd really like to bring to the table here just isn't going to be playing a factor in the end of this round. Herbies has been a shining beacon for this team so far. Lights out performance in map number 1. Solid performance out throughout border as well. Needs to come up huge here on the entry roll on this Ash. Toying with the idea of going through this armory double wall here. Pushing on through. You do have the support from the Twitch behind, but low HP, her result is going to be limited. And Razah playing that supportive role on side of the He's going to need to come in here to trade. C4 goes out, will be shot out of the air. Denied, shut on down. Shots being fired, long angles being held, but utility Tiaki. It's that 6th defender, like you say. It's just giving them nothing.
Well, timer ticking down the last 25 seconds. Movement needs to be made somewhere, somehow, with Razah trying to make a potential move here, but the time, it's not going to let them. They need to start moving through. They have a bit of utility, smoke grenades up and available, but it's instant shots on all. Imperial doesn't just find one, they find all 3. That is series point taken. They will be continuing to phase number 3, and congratulations to them in every regard.
What a performance, what a set of games there from the Brazilian side. Matrix by far MVP for that series there. Incredible performances, but Tiaki, you've got to give your roses to Razah Company. They also played a really fun game of Siege. Just unfortunately, I think that first map was a little too far gone for them. That 3K coming in through like an instant, that team wipeout for that team performance of Imperial. And like you say, will be graduating to the finals.
It's just a caliber of team. I mean, you look at Imperial, they were well into it from the get-go. Every single answer, every single question, every single play was easily identified by them, and they were able to secure the first map quite convincingly. And coming into the second map, minus a few bits and troubles here and there, they were pretty confident in their lockdown, in their seriousness, and they were able to secure everything that they needed.
They were incredibly confident there on the side of Imperial. I've really got to give them... I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously, we recognised a lot of the names on this roster. We recognised a lot of the people that were going to be there. But ultimately, it was just unfortunate to see Razah Company go down in that 2-0 fashion. I was hoping for a bit of fight out of them, but Imperial, so good, so reactive. The epitome of what Siege can really be played like. Having fun with it there on the start of that border, but then equally able to lock in when push comes to shove there. It gets to 5-5, they realise, right, we need to focus now. Go it, get the rounds done, get the game done, and with it, Tiaki, that is our final game here in Swiss for Challenger Series on this channel.
Yes, that's absolutely it. There are still 2 more regions to go through. We have NAL and I've forgotten the other region all of a sudden.
No, it's just NAL.
It's just NAL.
This and NA. This is it. It's barreling towards an end here in the Challenger Series. Of course, we do have the finals to play out next weekend, so don't worry, folks. Challengers itself is not going to be done yet. Next weekend, the grand finals will be played on through. Those will be on the main Rainbow Six channels, not here, though. So as for me, as for these community casts, things are wrapping up. But honestly, Tiaki, what a beautiful run it has been the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. I mean, as I mentioned prior to actually going through this series, it is a huge ups to everyone involved, everyone coming together for the great game of Rainbow Six Siege that we love to watch, we love to play, and just honestly, amazing few weeks, amazing bit of time, and I hope that you guys all have had fun watching everywhere around the world. This is not the F1, but it's close to it.
It's better than if you certainly do ask me. To all of the casters that have casted we on this channel, you, Tiaki, Puffo, Golu, to everyone who's been working alongside us, casting respective games on their own channels, to the observers, to the admins, to the fans and the players, helping us make all of this action possible. Everyone is integral to this role. We could not do it without each and every single one of you's support. So while this is the end for us now, Siege will be back next weekend on the main channels. We're going to raid out to Professor Nerd, who's covering one of the other Brazil games, so don't go anywhere because the action, it's not done yet.
Catch you later.